today. So let's go ahead and let's start talking about self-care.
Yeah. So I think this is really, we can kind of find the blessing in this whole situation of the fact that we can all be home and really slow everything down right now and really take some time to do some of the things that we don't normally get the time to do, or we don't normally feel like we can give ourselves permission to do. So I think self-care is extremely important. It's one of my favorite things to do, to talk about, to advise people on. And there's so many different types of self-care. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's so self-indulgent, like, oh, I'm self-care, I'm going to go on a big shopping spree. It can be something as totally opposite of self-care, as instead of splurging and spending a ton of money, it can really be budgeting. Like, that's taking care of that's what self-care is. It's taking care of yourself and finding ways that you can do something for yourself that's going to improve yourself and help your situation in lots of different ways, holistically, really. So there's 8 different types of self-care. So there's physical, which could be like your nutrition, your exercise, your diet. Mental, which could be, just your mindfulness. What are your thoughts that you're thinking about right now? Maybe you want to journal about it. There's emotional. So maybe you want to have a gratitude journal. Maybe you want to think about, kind of where are your emotions right now? Are you really stressed out about this whole situation, or are you just enjoying the time off and enjoying being with your family?
Right.
So you can check in with yourself there. Spiritual, which is obviously a really big thing for me, and I know for you too. To just take some time to, maybe you want to listen to some worship music, or you want to read a book that you feel like is really going to feed you, instead of something that's a topic that's kind of drain your energy. Intellectual, so again, reading something, learning something. I'm a big learner. I love to always be learning something. So that can definitely be a form of self-care. And then environmental. A lot of people are posting right now about how they are purging their closets, they're cleaning out their garages, things like that. That's definitely a form of self-care. It's getting rid of all the junk so that you can feel like you can breathe a little bit more. And then social is a little bit difficult for us right now, but as we are doing right now, you can see we can still be social even if we can't be there with each other. But there's also another side of social self-care where maybe you need to set some boundaries. Maybe this is a good time to have that hard conversation with someone about what you need as a person to take care of yourself. There's that old adage about you got to put your oxygen mask on before you help others. That's what self-care is. It's taking care of yourself. And there's just so many ways to do it. And then the last one that I touched on a little bit would be financial. So maybe now's a good time to kind of look at your finances. Do you need to maybe build a budget? Do you need to figure out, maybe like for us individually, my family, we're thinking, do we really need to have cable? Like, we've got Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime, all these different things. Like, who's even watching the cable anymore? So that's definitely self-care, looking at what your finances are doing. So I think even if you're sitting there watching this with, your fiance who's like, well, I don't really care about face masks and massages, maybe they care about a different form of self-care that you guys can kind of work on together as a couple.
Perfect. Good. I think all of those are amazing tips. And I feel like every one of us, just like you said, just given this time, obviously not everybody is home, but just with this time that we have, really just looking at, and taking the time to, be able to work on some of these things that, and yes, those are amazing topics as far as self-care. Is there any that you are God, what do I want to say? Taking and using during this time?
Yeah, well, definitely, I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm not a therapist. I'm not even a financial advisor. You can ask my husband. But I am a professional hairstylist and makeup artist. So I feel like I can really speak to more of what we can do self-care wise, as far as maybe what you would consider a spa day or a self-spa day. So yeah, I would love to share some of the things that I'm doing right now, or that I do normally, even when I'm not in this situation. Just different things that I like to do regularly, daily, some weekly, some monthly, just to kind of just feel like I'm taking care of myself. I have 2 small children. I have a husband that works a lot and I work a lot. And I think it's just really important to, like I said, put on that oxygen mask, help yourself, because otherwise you're not going to be any help to anybody else. So obviously, I'm really big on the skincare and the hair care. So a couple of the most important things that I think that you can do and that you can focus on any time of year, but especially when you're getting ready for a special event like your wedding day, is exfoliation. That is key. Anytime that you want to have your makeup look really awesome, or your skin, you know, your legs, exfoliation is where it's at. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. I'm going to show you a few of my favorite products. Okay. So this is by Dermalogica. This is the Daily Microfoliant, and it comes out as a powder. And I don't know if you can see inside there, but it's just like a loose powder. It's sprinkling all over my laptop now. And what you do is you get your hands a little bit damp, and you just sprinkle a little bit of the powder. It kind of feels like baking soda onto your hands and kind of create like a little bit of a paste. And then you just massage it all over your face and then rinse it off. And it is a beautiful exfoliant for your face. It's called a daily microfoliant because it's gentle enough that you can use it daily. Some exfoliators are a little bit more intense, and you might want to use those maybe like once a week, once a month, or you might just want to leave it to the professionals and have something like a peel done, you know, by your esthetician at your local spa or salon. But this is something that you can do daily. So I usually use more of a gentle face wash in the evenings. I like this one by the brand Fresh because it will remove your makeup, and you can rub it on, like close your eyes and rub it on your eyes, not in your eyes, but on your eyes, to get rid of your makeup. And it does it very gently, and your skin doesn't feel that like yucky, like squeaky dry feeling that some face washes give you. That one doesn't make you feel like that one at all. So I like to use that one at night to cleanse my face and remove my makeup. But then I love using something like the microfoliant for the morning because I know a lot of people, and myself definitely, I use some different skincare products at night that help with exfoliation and cell turnover. And so when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I might have some like kind of more flakier patches because of those products I'm using. So then that's where this comes in to really help to get the rest of that off. So exfoliation is key. Same thing, like if you want to get a self tan, you want your legs to look really great for, you know, we're coming up on pool season and beach season. You know, exfoliating your legs, getting all that winter dead skin sloughed off is going to make a world of difference, which then leads into the next thing that I think is the most important, which is moisturization. So once you get rid of all the dead skin, all the flakiness and all that stuff, then you want to go and put the moisture back into the skin, and that's what's going to really give that healthy glow. So let me show you. Let's see. Maybe I didn't grab it, but moisturizer wise, you know, you don't want to get anything on your face that's too heavy in the daytime, because then your makeup's just going to kind of slip right off. So during the daytime, you want to keep it a little bit lighter, but at the night, you definitely can go more of like a cream, like a night cream. But at the daytime, you want to keep it a little bit lighter. And then you definitely want to use my next must-have product, which is sunscreen. And this is really any time of the year. I cannot stress this enough to people. This is not something that you just use when you go to the beach or you go to the pool. This is something you should be wearing every single day, because the sun is the #1 cause for aging. And I know everybody, you know, a lot of people watching right now who are brides might not be worried about aging right now, but trust me, take care of it now, and then you won't have to worry about it later. So I love this one by the brand La Roche-Posay because if you get this specific one that's made for acneic skin or acne-prone skin, it's really great because it doesn't feel greasy, and you can put it on underneath your makeup and not feel like you've got like a swamp thing going on. Right. Yeah, so I would say exfoliation, moisturization, I mean, drinking water is part of moisturization too, because a lot of times people say, you know, I ask them about their skin type. I say, do you have oily skin? Do you have dry skin? And they're, I'm not really sure. Sometimes there's also that other skin type that a lot of people don't know about, which is dehydrated skin. So it's not necessarily, you look at it and you're like, I don't really know if it's oily or dry, but really it's just dehydrated. So it just may look a little crepey or a little bit just kind of lackluster, a little bit saggy. And you just need to put that hydration back into your skin, and that, you know, comes from the inside out. So definitely drinking water is key. And then as far as your hair goes, now is a great time to be using those deep conditioners that your hairstylist probably got you to purchase and that you didn't even know how to use. I'm going to show you one that I have here that I picked up a while ago that I'm going to use probably tonight. So a deep conditioning mask for your hair is something that is really going to help with maybe your skin, or maybe your hair feels a little bit dry from the wintertime. Or in the summertime, it could potentially feel a little bit dry because you've been in the pool a lot and the chlorine is making it kind of feel almost like straw. So you could apply a deep conditioner to your mids. I got really long hair, sorry. From your mids to your ends. So you don't want to apply deep conditioner on your roots, because then you're going to have really kind of oily hair for the next time until you wash your hair. So you really want to keep it from the mids down to the ends, or you could even just keep it on the ends if you would rather do that. Maybe you're someone who has really fine, thin hair, and you're kind of worried that if you use a lot of conditioner that your hair is just going to be super flat and weighed down. Then maybe you'd be the kind of person that just wants to keep it just on the ends, where you're feeling kind of maybe a little crusty. A lot of us, we can't go get our hair cut right now. I know I'm due for a haircut. My hair is feeling extra crusty on the ends. But if you use a deep conditioner on there, and you can leave it on as long as you want. Some of the bottles, they might say leave it on for 5 minutes or 3 minutes. But honestly, if you want to put that deep conditioner in your hair, and then if you have a shower cap, you could wrap your hair up in a shower cap and leave it on. Or you could, if you don't have a shower cap, you could just wrap your hair up in and clip it up, and then you could actually use saran wrap around your head. And really, the whole purpose of that is so that you don't get the deep conditioner all over, your couch or your bed or whatever. But also, when you have a shower cap or the saran wrap on top of the deep conditioner and you're letting it sit there for a while, the heat from your body will really help that deep conditioner penetrate the hair follicle even more. So you'll actually get even more benefit if you can let it sit a little bit longer, and you can wrap it in plastic or a shower cap or something like that. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Feedback. So I'm kind of waiting for a couple seconds, because it's like whenever it goes back and forth, we're getting a little bit of feedback. But I've realized that as long as I wait for a couple seconds, then we're not getting so much feedback. So I love that. So I know for me, this was a topic that I was so incredibly excited about, because when you're a mom and you're doing for others all the time, you are so many times you are the you take care of yourself last. And just like you said there, and I love the tip about, a lot of people who are watching this are obviously much younger than me, and some younger than you, but do it now, because it adds up. So, and I love the analogy of take care of yourself, because you can't take care of those around you. And sometimes that feels very selfish, but honestly, I feel like this time, that some people are home, this is an incredible topic for right now. And so would you be able to put the products in the comments after we're done?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think that will be helpful, because, and maybe even a photo or something, whatever you want to do, because I think that would be incredibly helpful. And Kate said that she's loving all the tips. So that's good. So, okay. So anything else as far as, that part of self-care?
Yeah. So not even necessarily like, hair or skincare, but just some of my other personal favorite self-care things that I do when I'm feeling a little bit stressed out, or like I just need to take a minute for myself. I love to take a nice hot bubble bath. But if you don't have a bathtub, or if you don't like to take baths, hot shower is great too. One of my tips for if you are going to take a hot shower instead of a bath is to take an essential oil. This one's a stress relief blend that my mother-in-law actually bought for me. It's so sweet. And if you just open it up and you just kind of like go like this at the wall of the shower, then it lets the steam and everything like that really get the essential oil in the air, almost like you're in like a spa. It's so nice. But if you sprinkle it on the floor, then the water is just going to kind of wash it away. So if you sprinkle it on the wall, that works really well. But I also, like if I'm taking a bath, I'll put it in the bathtub too. But another thing that I love, I'm going to show you a couple, because I have a lot of these. I'll show you a couple of these. I love anything that you can kind of sprinkle in your bath. So these are bath salts. I think my husband got this for me at like TJ Maxx or Home Goods or something like that. It was a stocking stuffer, but you can just pour a bunch of that in your tub as it's running, and it's just going to really soften your skin. If you are someone who has a little bit of maybe like eczema or some psoriasis or something like that, the Epsom salts that's in a lot of these products really actually helps to alleviate some of that like itchiness and irritation. But it also can really, really help because it has magnesium in it, can really help with sore muscles. So maybe you're someone that is really active, you're running outside a lot right now. I see tons of people in my neighborhood taking runs that I've never seen run before. Suddenly they're taking up running because they need to get away from their family probably. But anyways, magnesium really helps with that. So you can take a magnesium supplement like a vitamin, but you can also just take a soak with the Epsom salts with the magnesium, and that's going to help a lot. So I'll show you a couple of these. I also got this one from my mom. This is specifically, they kind of market towards people who do yoga, but it could be for anybody. But it's another one of those it's a powder Epsom salt kind of mixture that you pour into your bath and just kind of soak in it. But if you don't want to get fancy, you want to keep it really simple, budget friendly, you can also just get plain old Epsom salt. This is from Target generic brand Epsom salt. And you could just pour that straight into your bath, or you can go on Pinterest or Google and you can find a bazillion different DIY projects for how you can make your own like bath salts or bath bombs. And they're super easy to make. So if all you want to do is just buy a bag of plain old generic Epsom salts and you wanted to add in your own essential oils, or you could add in like almond oil, which would really help with like the softness. You could, if you have some of those vitamin E capsules, you know, like your doctor tells you to take vitamin E for your skin and your hair and nails and stuff. And if you're like me and you always forget to take your vitamins, you can actually take those little capsules and puncture them and just squeeze out the liquid that's inside the capsules. And those work great for like a DIY face mask, or you can rub them on like a scar. There's a lot of really great uses for those. So if you have some of those sitting in your medicine cabinet that just maybe you haven't used or you don't plan to use, there's a lot of different ways. If you just Google, so many things you could be doing right now that you don't even have to leave your house to go purchase.
I have a vitamin whole that, and I never thought about opening those up. So that is huge.
Another kind of side note is that my vet told me that if I have a lot of the fish oil capsules, which I do have a ton of those that I hate taking, so I just have a big giant bottle of them. If you puncture those, you can give them to your dog, and they're really good for your dog too. So I'm not a vet, but that's what I was told. This is another kind of body scrub. This would not be something you would pour into your tub. This would be something you would do like when you're standing in your shower or before you turn your shower on. My best friend ordered this for me off of Amazon, but it's inside the pouch is this, it's basically like coffee grounds mixed with some other like oils and things like that. So it's supposed to help with exfoliating the dead skin. And when you're exfoliating, a lot of times you're really helping with the circulation in your skin too, which can help plump up your skin. It can help with like cellulite and dimples that we get in our skin. So even if you just have some coffee grounds from this morning, you can dump those same coffee grounds into a bowl and mix in maybe some olive oil, or if you have almond oil or even coconut oil, you could put in a couple drops of essential oil. And if you wanted to go even a step further, you could maybe put in a little bit of brown sugar, stir all that up, put it in, if you have like a little jar or a little Tupperware you can keep it in, and then put it in your shower. And then when you go to take a shower, just scrub your body really good with that. And you're going to be amazed at how great your skin looks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I can put some information about that in the comments too. Yeah. Making your own sugar scrubs and all that stuff is so easy. You kind of just want to make sure that you keep the ratio to be about like 80% sugar, or if you prefer to use salt, you can use salt. I don't prefer to use salt because sometimes that can feel a little bit like burny a little bit, especially if you if you just shaved your legs or something like that and then you use the salt scrub, it's like, oh, that doesn't feel so great. So I prefer to use sugar. You can use white sugar, brown sugar, coconut sugar if you're one of those little bit more healthy people, which I'm not. So 80% sugar and then 20% oil. And you can use almond oil, coconut oil, jojoba, avocado, what did I say? Almond, coconut, avocado, olive, or jojoba are the ones that I thought of that I wrote down. So 80% sugar, 20% oil, and then put in whatever additives you want. Say you want to put in some essential oils, you want to do the coffee grounds. You could do citrus zest. Say you've got like a ton of lemons or oranges around and you want to zest some of that. That would be really, it probably smells awesome. You can put some honey in there, lavender. I mean, there's really no end to what you can do. You know, you got some downtime, whip up some sugar scrub, maybe drop off a jar of it at your neighbor's house or something and be like, here, take care of yourself.
Which is so, I'm gonna wait. All right, let's try this. Makes me sound like I'm that back feed. So, which is definitely, you're doing two things, because not only if you drop it off for someone else, not only are you doing something that you'll feel good about, because but you're also helping someone else with that self-care. So, and I love those tips, because who would have thought of, I know I wouldn't have, of using stuff, you know, that you already have, which I think is incredible. Okay, so anything else?
I guess my other kind of little favorite things that I like to do, other than taking a bath or a really long hot shower, is I'm obsessed with candles. I even have a candle lit right now. I'll show you. I always have a candle lit in my house, in my kitchen if I'm down there, or if I'm up here in my office. Like, that's the first thing I do is I light a candle. I just feel like I don't know, something about it just feels cozy. It makes me feel a little bit more at ease, if that sounds right. I don't know. But I always light a candle, something super simple you can do. Pretty much everyone's going to have a candle, whether it's scented or not. It doesn't matter. It just can help you feel a little bit more like cozy, you know? And then one thing that I've started doing is listening to music when I want to relax, listening to music that doesn't have any words. So I'm the kind of person where, you know, I've got a lot of noise going on in my life. I've got my 2 kids, I've got 2 dogs. My husband's always working on some sort of project around the house. So a lot of times if I'm trying to focus on, you know, answering emails or something like that, if I'm listening to music that has words, it can just quickly irritate me. And I don't even realize that that's irritating me. But now that I've switched to trying to listen to music that doesn't have words during those moments, it has really helped a ton. Sometimes it relaxes me almost a little too much. And then I'm like, oh, I'm a little sleepy. Maybe it's nap time. But yeah, I've found some different people that I really like on YouTube. And I'll just turn on one of their YouTube playlists. And it's this guy that I really like, that I've been listening to lately, this guy that just plays his piano. And he plays different songs that I already know, but there's no words. It's just the piano. So I still know the song. I'm still getting the benefit of the songs that I like, but I don't have that extra noise, which can, I don't know, it helps me to focus better, I think is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny when you have something. I know for me, the smallest, like if I'm reading something or I'm concentrating on something, the smallest distraction it's just an internal thing that I'm like, wow, we gotta, so, and I never thought about listening to just instrumental music, and that,
I'm not really into like classical music. Like some people are like, oh, listen to classical music when you're in college because it helps you study. Like, I don't really want to, like, there's some that I like, but that's not something where I'm like, yes, I want to listen to classical music while I'm working. But if I find music that I already really like, but I can just find the instrumental version, then I'm still, you know, it's like the best of both worlds. So yeah, that would be one of my favorite tips, I would say, that I've been sharing lately with people. And then, you know, like I have it downstairs. I'm mad at myself I didn't grab it because it's a really cool thing. But I found this tool at Walmart a couple months ago in the exercise aisle. and it's like a big stick that's like kind of an L shaped, but it's kind of curved, and then there's like a ball thing on the end of it, and so you can like wrap it around your shoulder and like pull it up, and that ball thing like gets you right in those sore muscles. So you can kind of get your sore muscles by yourself, which I think is awesome, because I'm sure a lot of our people that are watching right now are, you know, women that are engaged, but maybe you're not married yet. You don't have that person who can like work out those tense muscles all the time, but you can kind of get it yourself with that little doohickey thing. Anyways, it's at Walmart in the workout aisle. I'm mad at myself I didn't grab it. But yeah, I'm always like, I carry my tension in my shoulders. You know, I'm sitting here writing my emails and, you know, probably not the best posture like I'm doing right now. So yeah, finding something like that I think would be really good. Or if you don't have that, if you have got a tennis ball that you can just lay on the, put the tennis ball on the ground and lay on top of it and kind of roll yourself around. You probably look like a crazy person, but that really helps me a lot. And then my final thing that I just love to do every morning when I wake up is just kind of journal and pray and meditate and just read something that's good for my mind and my soul. Just read something that's kind of uplifting and kind of gives me hope for the day. You know, something that's not just the news or my Facebook feed, but something that's really going to help me like cope with what I have to face for the rest of the day. If that makes sense. So I like to do that outside. I try to go sit outside every morning on my front porch or my back porch with my coffee. And sometimes I have to, you know, bring a pillow outside and sit on the pillow because I'm sitting on my front stoop and it's not very comfortable. But yeah, I just kind of find like a quiet space where I can be by myself. And, you know, even if it's just 10 minutes, it's just like, oh, that helps me so much. And I know you're a big fan of doing that as well. But yeah, just really start your day off on the right foot.